So today we're going to do a deep dive into perennials. It's a hot topic for a lot of our listeners.
It really is.
And we always start these deep dives by, sort of outlining um like, what are the search terms that brought people here?
Exactly.
So, we've got some like what are perennials
Uh,
and people are really looking for low maintenance.
yeah.
So, how can I have a garden that's like beautiful all year round,
Mhm.
but I don't want to, be a slave to it?
I hear that a lot.
Yeah,
People want that beautiful garden, but they don't want to be out there every day weeding and,
exactly.
spending all their time.
Yeah, low maintenance beauty.
Yeah.
That's the term, right?
Yeah.
And then, people are always looking for like something unusual.
Right.
Like,
Like, what can I plant that's really going to wow my neighbors?
exactly, exactly. So we're going to dive into all of that today. We've got a couple of really great sources. We've got this fantastic YouTube video
Mm.
and then a Wikipedia article that is, like really goes deep on the science of it.
Yeah, the science is really fascinating.
Yeah. So let's jump in and start with, I think we should start with perennials. Like, what are they?
Okay, so, the basic definition, perennials are plants that live for more than 2 years.
Okay.
So that's, opposed to annuals that you have to replant every year.
So you plant them once and they just keep coming back.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They die back, usually in the winter,
Okay.
and then in the spring they come back up.
So like magic.
Yeah. It's pretty magical.
I was reading about, this rose,
Mm.
this rose bush in Germany that's over 1,000 years old.
Yes, that's amazing.
1,000 years old. Can you imagine?
It's incredible.
That's just wild.
And it just shows you how resilient and, long-lived these plants can be.
And it's still going, right?
It is. It's still growing on the wall of a cathedral.
A cathedral wall. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, we talked about the different types. Like you were saying, there's some that die back every year, and then there's some that stay green.
Right. So you have your herbaceous perennials. They're the ones that die back every winter.
Okay.
Then you have your evergreen perennials that stay green all year round.
Okay. And then there were some others, right?
Yeah, you also have woody perennials like trees and shrubs.
So those are perennials too, huh?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
And then you even have some aquatic perennials that live in water.
Wow. So it's really like a huge, huge category of plants.
It is. There's so much variety.
Okay. So, low maintenance. Like, what is it about perennials that makes them so low maintenance? Because that's a big thing for our listeners.
Right, right. Well, it's really all about their roots. So unlike annuals, which have shallow roots, perennials develop these really deep and extensive root systems. And that allows them to, access water and nutrients much more efficiently than a plant with just shallow roots.
So like they're reaching down deep into the soil.
Exactly. And they're not reliant on just the top layer of soil where, it dries out quickly or, the nutrients are depleted.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So that makes them much more drought tolerant, less picky about soil, and they don't need as much fertilizer.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Like, I am so bad about fertilizing.
I think a lot of people are.
So that's really good to know. So, okay, deep roots, less maintenance.
Yeah.
But can you really have a garden that's in bloom like all year round with perennials?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
It just takes a little bit of planning.
Okay.
So you want to choose perennials that bloom at different times of the year. So let's say it's spring.
Okay.
You could have things like daffodils, peonies, and irises bursting forth.
I love peonies.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're just so, so pretty.
And then as we move into summer, you have roses,
Of course, roses.
coneflowers, black-eyed Susans,
Love those.
lavender, bee balm.
I was reading about bee balm
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, bees
Yes.
will like take a shortcut
Yeah.
to get to the nectar.
They're little nectar robbers.
Yeah, they just bite a hole at the bottom of the flower
They do.
and just take the nectar like little thieves.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny.
It is.
So you've got those for the summer. Okay.
And then for fall,
What about fall?
you've got chrysanthemums,
Mums.
asters,
Oh, those are pretty.
and then hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas are my favorite.
Yes. And some hydrangeas will even keep their dried flower heads
Oh, yeah.
all through the winter. So you get some visual interest even then.
I love that. I love that look. It's so kind of like rustic,
Yes.
but beautiful. And
Yeah.
hydrangeas are so cool because, they change color
Yes, they do.
based on the soil.
Exactly. It depends on the pH of your soil.
So acidic soil means you're going to have blue flowers,
Yep.
and alkaline soil means pink.
Pink.
So you can like mess with your soil.
To get the color you want.
Yes. A lot of gardeners like to experiment with that, trying to amend their soil to get, the exact shade of blue or pink they want.
I'm gonna have to try that. I planted this rose last year and it did so well. Like, I was so surprised. It was one of those, like, I just stuck it in the ground and, like, ignored it.
And it thrived.
And it totally thrived. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty amazing. But, one of the things I was reading about is, like, how to, because they can get kind of pricey.
Yeah.
Like, some of these perennials, they're not cheap. So I was reading about, like, how to divide them.
Yes. Dividing
Is
perennials.
that like a thing?
It's a great way to, multiply your plants without having to spend any money.
So, like, if I have, let's say, like, a daylily, that's getting kind of, crowded.
Yeah, like a big clump.
Can I just, like, dig it up and, like, split it up?
Exactly. You dig it up, you separate the roots, and then you replant them in different spots.
And then, like, boom, I have more daylilies.
You do. It's like free plants. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I could, double or even triple my perennials like that.
Yes. And it's a great way to, fill out your garden, share plants with friends.
Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, so we've talked about, how they're low maintenance, how they're beautiful, how you can divide them to get more. But what about their, impact on the environment?
Yeah, that's a really important point. Perennials are actually really beneficial for the environment.
Okay.
Remember we talked about those deep root systems?
Yes.
Well, those roots play a huge role in improving soil health. They help prevent erosion.
Okay.
They help aerate the soil, where it means, more oxygen gets down to the roots of the plants.
Okay.
And they even help sequester carbon, which is really important in the fight against climate change.
So they're good for the planet, huh?
They are.
That's awesome. I love that. And then I know, attracting pollinators is a big thing.
Right. And many perennials are fantastic for attracting pollinators like bees and butterflies.
Which we need, right?
Yes, we definitely need them. They're essential for a healthy ecosystem.
So it's like a win-win, right?
It is beautiful gardens and a healthier planet.
I love that.
And if you really want to kind of take it to the next level, you can choose perennials that are native to your region.
Oh, okay.
That means, plants that are naturally found in your area.
So they're already adapted to the climate.
Exactly. They're adapted to your specific climate and soil conditions. So they're going to require even less water, less fertilizer, and they're going to provide the perfect habitat and food source for native insects and animals.
That makes a lot of sense. So for someone who's just starting out with perennials, what would be your top tip?
I would say do your research. Figure out which plants are best suited to your specific climate and your soil conditions.
Right.
There are tons of resources online at your local garden center. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And most importantly, have fun with it. Experiment with different colors, textures, heights. Create a garden that really reflects your own personal style.
Yeah, because it's like your space, right?
It is.
It should be what you love.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's great advice. We were talking about how they capture carbon in the soil. And I was thinking about, climate change.
Yeah.
Could planting more perennials actually, help make a difference?
It's a great question, and it's one that scientists are actually studying right now. And, the evidence does suggest that perennials can play a significant role in climate change mitigation.
Wow.
So those deep roots, they store carbon in the soil.
Okay.
And then because they come back year after year, you don't need to till the soil as much,
right?
Which also reduces carbon emissions. And they can even help reduce the urban heat island effect, which is, where cities are significantly warmer than the surrounding rural area.
That's really cool. That makes me want to go out and just plant a whole field of perennials.
I know, right? And, the world of perennials is constantly evolving.
Okay.
There are always new varieties being developed. So there are really endless possibilities for creating these stunning and sustainable gardens.
I love that. It's a journey, right?
It is. It's a constant journey of discovery and creativity.
And you never know what you're going to find, what new perennial you're going to fall in love with.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, embrace the world of perennials. They are truly remarkable plants. They can transform your garden and they can contribute to a healthier planet.
Well said. I love that. And if you have any, amazing perennial stories or, discoveries, be sure to share them with us.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you.
We love to hear from our listeners. Wow, perennials are truly incredible. I've learned so much today.
Me too. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. And thanks again for joining us on this deep dive into perennials.
My pleasure.
So to all our listeners out there, get out there and plant some perennials. You won't regret it.
Happy gardening, everyone.
Happy gardening. And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive. We'll see you then.